Hello, everyone. It's me. Where am I? Bad Dog, and there's Good Dog.
You surprised me. Hello.
Welcome to our Tuesday Hall Pass here at Two Dogs Digs channel. I just got to adjust my volume a bit because I got Rick yelling at me from downstairs. So thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We're here to chat about our what a weekend haul, our fun that we had popping down to Buffalo for 3 days again, since we can now. And that's a little sample of some of the stuff that we got. Again, when we went down, we didn't know what to expect. It was trying to go, at least we were going to look for something that's a nice weekend, because a lot of time we've gone down there and it's been raining. Yes, Doug, it has been raining. And when it is raining, it's obviously no garage sales. The estate sales we looked at didn't look that great, but we thought it's going to be June. There was also a big flea market that goes on if you're ever in upstate New York, or if you're from the greater Toronto, sort of southern Ontario area. The first Sunday of every month, there's a flea market at a place called Antique World in Clarence, which is just about a 10-minute drive from Buffalo Airport. Straight along Highway 5. And we go there. We do, Doug. We go there every single month, and we pray that it doesn't rain. And if you remember 3 years ago when I went down there for my birthday, that's when the truck got stuck in the mud. It can be fun. So this time, though, we knew it was going to be nice weather. So we thought this is going to be really a lot of fun. We'll have some nice times. We'll get up early. We'll go running around and everything like that. But thank you all for joining us here. I'm going to say hello to everybody who popped in. So Tina's here. She was the first one in there. Angelique. Tina's actually listing fabric tonight, which we have to do too. So yeah, I know it's going to happen at some point. We'll start listing fabric at some point. Hello, Donna, Diana, and Janet. Thanks for popping in. Mr. Adrian. Holly, how you doing? Rick is saying wee. Linda, Lisa, Sherry, Heather, Mr. Greg, who is actually going to go down to Buffalo this week, and he was actually there on the weekend when we were there too. Lisa, and yeah, Adrian actually gets Doug when we go down to New York. He stays with Adrian. That's his step doggy. Like, I don't know how we say it. Heather's got a hoarder house bin with a bin of cookbooks she's listing. That sounds like a lot of fun. Hoarder houses can be a lot of fun to search through. That's for sure. For us this weekend, I'm gonna add you back in. There he is. I just gotta. We had a good time. We did a fair amount of shopping. We actually had nice dinners. We had there wasn't a lot in the thrift stores though, was there, Rick?
No, we spent I think a total of $12 in 2 different thrift stores, and we went to like 7.
Yeah, and it was very, very surprising about how little we found in thrift stores. It actually is comparable to Toronto lately in terms of some of the thrift stores too. Hey Candace and Tamara, she's home sick, so no excuse to miss the show. Thanks so much for joining us live, Tamara. So yeah, that was the surprising thing is, I mean, I don't know why. It did happen to be the weekend after Memorial Day in the US, and I know that a lot of the thrift stores have big, like 50% clearance days and things like that for that. So we didn't get a lot, but we did manage to get all this stuff that you see in the boxes here. Some of it you saw a little bit of, which was this box down below here, which is our Lamax stuff that we picked up, and we put that into the Kennel Club, but we'll talk a little bit about that. And that's the back of the car. So you can see there was still room in the back of the car. And we didn't fill it up completely, but we did have some fun filling it up. We also had some fun asking you guys about some stuff. This was one of the things that in the Kennel Club. Hey, Carl, didn't see you there. Where were you up above? I didn't see Carl. Oh, there he is. Sorry, I missed that. I'm sorry. So sorry, Carl. You know I wouldn't forget you, Carl. Thanks. Carl is going to be on us next week on our show. And next week we're going to be doing a listing the unlistables, things that we just have not got around to that we really need to get around to. And that's actually one of the challenges that's going to come up over the next week or so for the Kennel Club, is to start listing some of those things that you haven't listed for whatever reason that you have. Carl will be doing that with us next Tuesday. Yeah, this was our car. But thanks to everyone we did ask in the Kennel Club about a couple of things. First place we went to happened to be on a Thursday afternoon. Hello, slow crafter lurker. Welcome. One of the first things that we actually asked about was this stuff. So we had first house we went to. This was actually on Thursday, just after we crossed the border. There was a house that was filled with a bunch of different things, and this was shelves and shelves of this. And we didn't even know what to really call it, but it was like I still can't even remember. Somebody did mention what it was, but it's like a silver leaf kind of thing over top of glass. And most of the stuff, and this is the reason that we thought about it, was most of the stuff was like, you can see $2, $4 for a pair. So
it wasn't selling at that.
Well, no, we also were there like literally an hour after it opened, though, right?
There were no gaps or empty spaces on those tables and shelves.
In an hour. No, that is true. There weren't any that we could see. But again, not knowing enough about it, when you see things that are listed at $4 and $8, as a reseller, you might jump on them immediately because they were all in amazing shape, right? That's one of the things that they were, Rick. They were all in like perfect shape. So they were obviously display pieces. But again, this is the kind of thing that sometimes as resellers, you jump on. You just go, oh my God, I got to get this. This stuff is all $4. I'm going to fill the whole bin full of these and get everything that there is and not spend a lot of money. Well, we didn't get any. Rick was like, he just wasn't sure. So I posted to the Kennel Club and I asked, and thanks to people like Lisa and Donna, Silver Overlay, and Diana, Ugly Dust Collector, or just tacky, as Adrian said. Leyden City Glass. Oh, I've never heard of that. Grandma's Junk. Yeah, perfect for a rage room. That is. Oh, Payden. I've never heard of that one either. Payden or Leyden City. But we took your advice. Everybody said, don't bother with that. Don't go back to try and find it. What?
Me too. I said, don't buy it.
You said initially, don't buy it. And I said, are you sure? And you went, well, I don't really know, but I don't like it. You didn't like it. You thought about it more for a rage room.
Yes. I could have paid the guy $100 and smashed it all there in place.
But the thing is, you do ask sometimes, and sometimes you actually get the opposite answer. And this was something that we found at the flea market that we went to, and we got the opposite answer from everybody who said we should have been grabbing it. This was a table filled with all sorts of stuff that was all priced at, this is all made in Italy. And as you can see, these jugs, they're all fruit, like vegetable, fruit-based things, 50 cents, $2, $1, everything like that. And they had put this table out, and this literally was at approximately, there was more than this on the table. This was actually probably within, I think they were still putting a couple pieces out. So this is literally right when they were opening. So like 8 o'clock in the morning, they were putting that stuff out. And at $1.50, Rick said to me,
no way. They are ugly. They are not in fashion. I hate them. And I walked away.
And yeah, sort of Majorca, I guess. There were a number of them, Rick is just saying, that were, a lot of them were made in Italy. Some of them actually were marked Fitz and Floyd on the bottom of them too. Tina said, oh, I would have grabbed.
You didn't show me Fitz and Floyd. You showed me Vietri.
I know, but I did check, and there was Fitz and Floyd there. And in fact, how much for the whole table? You know what, Angelique, that's not even funny, because the lady looked at us, and I was looking at it, and Rick was behind me, and I'm looking at it, and Rick's going, no, ugly. And I went, and the lady sat down and said, you can take the whole batch. I'll make you a good deal. And I was looking at it going, wait a second. I'm adding this up right now. And right now it's not even going to total like $50.
So would Angela Lansbury, Adrian.
So would Adrian. Someone's getting rid of theirs. Yeah. Ugly does sell. So, and that's just it. We ended up thinking about this. And again, this is one of the things that we look at. Oh, Tina does live vintage sales in the summer and fall, so you don't have to ship them. I guess you mean like you have a booth or a table at something like that. Well, again, the reason that we thought about it, and I actually did go back, and I did actually end up picking up 5 of these bowls. There was only about 20% left of what you see there, and this was about 2 hours later. I picked up 5 bowls, an apple, an eggplant, a blueberry, or something like that. So it's at $1 each to try and put into Max Sold. So
I wasn't even there for it to be a Max Sold thing.
He didn't even want. Yeah,
I was. Maybe I was still hangry or sleeping.
Oh, you were. Yeah, that is true. He was.
The car alarm.
It was his coffee had not gone through yet or anything like that. So, okay, like a crash. Nice. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're looking with the 5 pieces. But and in fact, when I got there, there was somebody who was at the table who paid $15 and was taking 3 boxes of stuff, and I was like. And they were picking like $5 jugs, and it's like they got those $5 jugs for a lot less than $5. So it's a risk that you end up taking. And again, thanks to everybody in here, because you guys all said yes. I actually said, okay, Rick, they all say yes. I'm going back. I'm going to pick up a couple of little things. I'm not going to spend more than $5.
Yeah, you can sit in the air conditioning in the car. I'm going.
Sister Lucy says, yeah, I said you can. Sister Lucy says you should have bought them all. So I'm not sure if Greg's sister Lucy is with him right now, or if Greg is at a convent. I'm not sure which one. I have no idea, but I agree with Sister Lucy. I don't know how to cross myself. So if I wish I picked up some more. I wish I picked up some of those bigger jugs, especially for when you can find nice jugs for $2. You got it, even if they're ugly jugs.
It's spectacles, testicles, wallet, and what?
Okay. Well, I know where the spectacles, and I don't keep my watch is on the opposite side of everything, so it doesn't really make any sense. So,
okay.
Another thing we did see, and I didn't post any, I didn't even have to post this. This was a box filled with strawberry shortcakes, and this is at that flea market as well. And this box of strawberry shortcakes, I looked at it and I thought, you know what? This is going to be one of those guys, and you're going to want like $8, $9, $10 a piece for all of these. I looked at him. I said, "How much are these strawberry shortcake dolls?" And like literally, original outfits. Some even had the original shoes on them. And there's like this one here. That's original outfit, original shoes, original hat, things like that. And I have a bunch of these. But they wanted $1 a doll, $1 each, and that is an amazing price for vintage strawberry shortcake. But I didn't pick them all up. I thought about it, but I have a bunch here already. Now we did sell in our last Max Sold a couple of little bins of them of what we had. For like $30 or $40 a piece. And so I did think about it. I did look at a bunch of them. Part of the challenge is there's a couple of dolls that don't sell well in strawberry shortcake land. I'm not sure what the... Okay, so I got to go through strawberries. Sold. She would have bought Insta Buy. So Carl's like, what? You didn't buy them all? No, I did not buy them all, Carl. Diana's saying I should have bought. Well, here's why I didn't buy them all, because this particular doll. Well, let me see. Wait, I'll go to this one here. In this box, there's a lot of these smaller dolls that are up in this top corner here. I'm going to see if I can sort of circle around them here. These are the baby versions of the dolls. It is Lem and Ada. So those are two little twins. Apple Blossom. And they're half the size of a normal strawberry shortcake. So they're the babies. Those ones don't do well in resale, especially if you're trying to sell them on their own. So I picked through them, and I actually ended up picking out the ones that were the best shape with the most accessories. I made sure they all had shoes and picked up 5 of them. That's all. I only picked up 5 out of the whole thing. I know tons of them already. So
I was expecting you to say how much for the whole box.
Well, you didn't say anything to me. You didn't. Why didn't you go? Oh, we should get the whole box. You were standing right beside me.
Yeah, you're the doll expert. So,
but yeah, I could have got that whole box easily. Probably 5, 10, 15, 20, probably $40 or less for the whole box. But yeah, I did cherry pick the ones that I really wanted to get out of there. So, and we're going to show you a bunch of stuff that we got live as well, which was some interesting stuff. Ask you some questions about that. One of the things I'm going to show you first, though, is one of the contentious issues between Rick and I. So it's always, don't buy big stuff. Don't buy big stuff. Now, this was actually fun because it actually turned into fun when we crossed back across the border. I walked to this one booth. Now, this flea market had been open since 6 o'clock in the morning. And this was around 10 o'clock in the morning. And we came across this beautiful picture. This gigantic mid-century modern
geometric print.
Huh?
Is it a print or a picture?
Print. Framed print. And isn't that just, if you're into mid-century, it is great. It's heavy, glass frame, and take a look at this corner. It was $40. That was the price on this, $40. And I asked if they could do any lower. And they said, sure. How about 30? And I was like, yeah, that's coming home with me for 30. And Rick looked at me and said, what?
If you're getting the painting, I'm getting the bullfighter and the bull.
Yes.
That painting is like 4 feet by 4 feet.
It's a big painting.
So the bull is like 2 feet long. The matador is 2 feet tall.
Yes. So Rick decided that this was what he called it, his spite buys. So it's a new term. It is spite buys. I'm used to them before. But your wife would kill you about buying something that big. It is flat. It did fit in the van, and I'll actually show you. There it is. There it is in the van on top in a big blanket. $30 sold is right. But that's what Rick. Oh, Adrian said he would have bought the bullfighter. I honestly am debating about that. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, the artwork or the bullfighter. The artwork I'm thinking about keeping and putting up. Angelique likes them both. Lisa liked the painting. Diana liked the cookie tin in the background. Okay. So we actually picked up one other thing from that same table as well for less than $10. And so this is sort of part of our MCM world. The same table, same place had this table. And it was very unique.
I think
because it's actually, it's a leaf. And you can see $10. It's a leaf. It's not an ashtray. And the back has a double barreled leg to it. It's a very solid, heavy.
I think it's an ashtray.
I don't, because there's no place for you to sit your actual cigarette without it falling apart. Like you can't sit a cigarette anywhere in there. A cigarette would slide into the middle of the thing. So it would slide into the ashes. Oh, the Matador and Bull were $15 for the pair.
But we knocked them down to $10. So it was $40 for the picture and the Matador and the Bull.
And 10 more for this.
Yep.
They're saying it's an ashtray for cigars. Oh, it's for pipes. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, but for $10, I wasn't going to pass it up. And in fact, just 3 tables over, we got this pair of lamps. So this is we do have the harp for this. It just isn't in here from storage. This is the tiger lamp and this
antelope.
The antelope is a light from behind, so it's down in the back there. You can see down there. That's the bulb down the back, and that's the front of it. And this one needs a lampshade, but we actually have a couple of lampshades that could work for those too.
And again, we got these at what, 10:30?
We got these at actually this was close. Yeah, this was like 10:30. So this is like 4 hours after the thing was open, and we asked the price at the table, and the guy said 15.
15 a piece. Sold.
No questions. No. It's like sometimes you can't even think about asking to negotiate because you're still unbelievably thinking, I think he said 15. Did he say 15 or 50? Like, you don't want to insult somebody by going, would you take 25 for the pair if they said 50 each? So I'm like, I looked at Rick, and Rick actually, I think, said out loud, so that would be 30 for the pair? And the guy said yes. And I was like, okay. So sold. Yes, it was an awesome price. So I sold a Panther lamp for 60, and it wasn't that nice. The Panther should sell actually really well. It's going to probably go into a max sold for us. Lisa has the antelope in black. The antelope we might actually put onto Etsy or eBay.
It's kind of squarish or rectangular.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to pack than the taller. Although we have sold those cougars before, the tigers before. So, but now let's chat about some of the other fun stuff that we had. I don't know, Rick, if you want to go first. You got that one thing, one of the few things that we bought at a thrift store.
I don't remember what it is. Is it the batch of stuff?
It's the box.
The box. Oh, geez. Oh, sorry. Oh! All right. This was on a lower shelf in the Christmas aisle. Priced at $6. The thing that attracted us to it was the fact that it said 4 pieces and made in Japan.
So I don't even know if anybody here would even open that box because it's not a pretty box.
No, it looks kind of beat up. It looks old.
And if you look at the bottom of it, Rick, I don't think there's like no markings anywhere that say it's any kind of company.
No, yeah, that's the only identifying sticker on the outside.
And the price of it was like, what's that? Staying closed.
$5.99.
Oh, staying closed. Walking by. Oh, hell, you'd open it. Open it after it's in the cart. Always open every box. Well, this is what was actually in those boxes. It was a Fitz and Floyd Christmas set. And it was this, and it even still had the Fitz and Floyd bags on them.
Yep.
Too. And it's called St. Nicholas. The pattern is St. Nicholas, Fitz and Floyd, 1978. There's the FF, Fitz and Floyd. And let me just pop back to there. Where'd it go there? And I'll turn that over to Rick. Back to Rick. There we go. Back to Rick.
Let me see if I can find.
Well, you also had them like you were going to show them out of the package.
Yes. Yeah. First of all, they are a really pretty set. And again, these were all packaged in their little baggies. This Santa is adorable because the cup actually has only 3 reindeer. I don't know what happened to the other 5. 6 if you count Rudolph. But we actually Craig was doing some research in the field, and there are no boxed cup and saucer sets anywhere. So we were doing a little bit of research, and Fitz and Floyd stuff sells really well, or can sell really well. And so I was looking on eBay in general, and lots of Fitz and Floyd stuff, because of its rarity, can sell for high dollar values. I looked in Terapeak for the actual Fitz and Floyd St. Nicholas cup and saucer set, and it came back with a number of them. The highest price one was $125, and the listing is basically, they have this whole grouping and they're selling 5 sets of the cups and saucers because they had 10 available. They're selling 5 and 5. If you look down in the description here, prices for 5 sets, we have 10 sets available. And they got $125 for 5 sets.
Yeah, and if you actually look at individuals, there is literally just one cup and saucer that sold for $12.99. So we have, if you go into here and you try to look up into the descriptions and you try and find new, this isn't even new. And that sold for $23 for that set. So we that's one of the few things that we ended up grabbing from that set. There is a matching dinner set for $199, but nothing else in there. So this is why you want to open boxes that you see that don't even look like they're the type of thing that you would want to do. So somebody has sold a loose set for $124.99. We picked up this boxed brand new set, still in the Fitz and Floyd baggies, and we're probably going to auction it starting at, I don't know, we might auction it starting at $99, because we'd be thrilled with making like $100 on this, or even $80 on this with all the fees, or we might even try and start it at $150 just to be a little bit ballsy. So
again, even on Worth Point, prices are kind of all over the place. But they seem to average between $13 to $30 per cup and saucer. So the fact that these are brand new in the original box, I think Craig is on the right track by doing an auction and pricing it higher than the average.
And again, we'll do that now. That other set sold within the last 90 days. So we're coming closer to the time where July is basically going to be Christmas in July. That's our focus for the Kennel Club, is to start listing your Christmas stuff, because it's going to start ramping up at that period. And even though Christmas does sell year round, and then if it doesn't sell at the $150, we'll take it off, maybe list it a little bit later. And it is easy to ship because it's already packed, and it's not theoretically don't have to worry about breaking anything. So from my standpoint, I actually ended up going in with Rick. We went to a church bazaar, and the church bazaar that we went to had a bunch of stuff, and it was an interesting church bazaar. We got there at 2 minutes to 9, and it was supposed to open at 9, and there was nobody in line, and they were already letting people in. So it's like, damn it, we didn't go earlier. Like, we could have been there 10 minutes earlier. We stopped for a coffee.
And that's the rule. That's the rule. I get my coffee before.
We get the coffee, and we walked in, and it was a pay what you like church bazaar, which was really interesting. We actually realized that we had been to it 4 years ago.
Pay as you will.
Pay what?
Pay as you will.
Pay as you will.
Like,
yeah,
pay
that was
as
it.
you will.
And somebody had decided that they were going to get rid of their husband's entire train collection. He had passed away a couple of years ago. And so we walked in, and this one table, two 8-foot long tables, literally were filled with loose HO scale train cars. Couldn't see a single engine anywhere, just this whole thing. And it was, again, pay what you will. But what that also was on that, a third table was filled with a bunch of other things. So we managed to pick up a bunch of box things, like probably about 10 or 15 at least of these things. Everything from little models, like little model kits like these that have been unbuilt. They're upside down that way. So I think we ended up with 3 or 4 of these type of things. We picked up 3 or 4 of these model kits. I love this model kit, and it even comes with the little plastic piggies and all the stuff. It's like, here's all the paint your own sausages. Like, time to steal the sausages. Like, that's so cute. And there's like 3 of these sets. This is all unbuilt inside there. We also picked up 4 or 5 other things like these HO scale buildings that had not been built. And again, this was all in the one section that this is all part of pay what you will. And one of the other things that we picked up, which was, where did I put it? Where did I put you?
I don't know what you're looking for, so I cannot be of assistance.
Oh, here it is. This, which was this in this box, but they'd written on it cars, and it was actually filled with a whole load of plastic vintage toy cars. Now, these are really cute, and some of these cars alone can go for like even $10 to begin with. So this is all of these cars that are in here. You can see a whole bunch in there.
Carl says that's a box he would open.
I opened it and put it literally into a box. We were carrying a box around with us.
Yeah, Adrian wants to know how much did you will.
Well, I picked up a couple of Monopoly games as well. And this, which I haven't even really looked at, I picked this up. This is all at that same sale. An NFL strategy thing.
Is that Cadico?
Huh?
Is that by Cadico?
No, it's Tudor Games. I've actually never heard of them before. I actually had not even looked in this to see what was in here. So, I see. It's like it's the pre-computerized kind of thing. There's cards that go up in here, like Cadico used to do.
We've done well with the Cadico stuff.
We've done well with these kind of things, and everything that we did, which was in a box that was about this big, we actually ended up getting for $20. So most of those things cost us $1 or less. That entire box of cars cost us $1. So
I thought he was going to offer $5, but the lady behind the counter was so, you got some of the trains that my husband.
But my husband, yeah, and they had, but there were no engines there. That's just it. So somebody got in there probably 5 minutes earlier than us and grabbed all of the engines because yes, the engines are like the things that really can go for tons and tons of money. I do like price tags, and I know it's kind of like part of me wanted to say $10. I'm glad I offered 20 because it was the woman's husband. But and she sort of went, okay. So yeah, we picked it up today. Actually, it was just at our neighbor's. Thanks, Lisa. We did get it. I meant to send you a message, but we just picked it up this afternoon. I do like price tags better than how much do they think I'm going to pay, but that was just an interesting thing. And part of that same thing is we ended up, to give you the same idea, this was a sort of a day where we found this kind of thing. This was actually at another sale that we were at, which is it's in the same world. This was a big, huge box that was at an estate sale, and it said race car set on the top. This sale had actually been on for like 5 hours.
That was under a table in the front room. It was
under a table, packed, completely packed, and it said race car set. And I don't know if you can see down in the corner here, it was $22 for all. Well, I looked at this box, and the first thing I did was I lifted up these to see what they looked like. And number one, I saw that was a controller. So if you're ever looking at anything like this, slot cars can sell for good money. And not only was it an AFX, which is a vintage name, and this is the vintage logo for Aurora AFX. This is the kind of slot cars I grew up with when I was a kid and had slot cars. Yes, I did have slot cars. But if you look in the box, there's a bag. And what was that bag? Well, that bag was this. That bag was filled with slot cars. And as soon as I saw the bag, I just said to Rick, we're getting this. It's like, I don't care about the actual slot track. I cared about these. And I just decided to pull 2 out to try and look up before I actually did the show. Because again, we just got back, and I found one of them was really neat because I looked it up with Google Images and it found it. There's actually a website called Slot Mania, I think it was called.
Be careful when you type that.
Be careful when you type that. Yes. And
not a U.
One of the others that I found and looked up was this, and you can see here it's really cute. Pro 1, little red Pro 1 there. There's a little driver in there. There's the slot car base on the bottom there. There's the magnets that make it go. There's the AFX logo right by my finger. And so I thought I'll look this one up just so I can actually let people know what it possibly could be. And what did I do with the thing that I looked up? Here it is. This car. This is a sold for this car. This car sold. This is it. There it is. There. I think I'm trying to make it in the same position that it's in on the thing. This car here. There it is. Pro 1. You can see the label, everything. Sold for $100. And there are actually multiples on eBay listed and selling for between $90 and $125 or more. And this on auction one is right now. So this actually alone, and this entire thing is filled with about 15 to 20 cars. So again, how do you tell a slot car from a regular car? That's a really good question. So a slot car, we're going to go to a big picture of me on this. Slot cars actually have this pin on the bottom of them. You can see right here. And that pin is what goes inside the actual track itself, which, I left the track downstairs. But I'll show you the picture. You can see
basically
on the track there,
runs through the tracks.
You can see the track right there. So this pin sits inside that track to hold it on as it goes around and around. So it's there. Also, you usually see this. It's a metal piece on the bottom, and a lot of times as well, slot cars. I'm not going to do it to that one, but slot cars come in pieces, so people can actually swap out the tops. So this is what the base of a slot car can look like. There's the metal magnetized. That's how it goes around, and then they swap various tops on top of it. So that could actually go with this car, just popping it on, but you could also pop on this top. So here's a slightly different top to this one. Right? Same size. So they all can fit on the same basis. AFX and Tyco are the two big names. So if you ever just want to take a look up slot cars, and if you want to get a little more just trying to see if that's the name of it. I can't see if I can find it again.
What, Slot Car Mania?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can find the site that it was on. That's not the name of it, but I'll have to do another lookup for it.
We'll put something in the description.
Yep. So we found those kind of things. We found other interesting stuff. I don't know, Rick, you want to show something, or you want me to show something?
Oh no, I can show people this phenomenal.
Diana's going to want that.
Primitive jack-o'-lantern doll. Now he's kind of solid, but not. I thought he was really cute. We paid $2.99 for him at a Savers.
That's that we got when we got the other thing.
Yes. I love him too. And I was trying to see if I could find anything of value similar on eBay, and I can't find anything exact, but they seem to be priced in the $20 to $40 range. So if I'm going to list him, I will list him at the higher end. I might even list him at auction, starting at $29.99, and see where he goes. He is delightful. Look at that face.
Right. There you go.
Look at that face.
And look at that face. We also found more stuff at the flea market, and people are always talking about, can you find something at a flea market? Like, this is a big flea market. There's hundreds of people who go there. And again, we got there at 8. It opens at like 6:30. There are people who shut down at 10:15 and 10:30 because they've been there for four hours or so. We saw some of these booths, and we got to them in the 9 o'clock period, 9:30, 10 o'clock. We were there from 8:01 until 11:15. 3 hours. I walked a couple of the things twice. We had to take stuff back to the car, like the artwork and that sort of thing. But we went by this one table, and again, how long had that table been set up, Rick? This was like 10 or 10:30. And I found I think you have the one thing, which was that dish, right? The orange dish that we got for like $1.
That was a garage sale.
The orange dish? No, that was at that table.
Was it?
Yes.
This one?
Yes. That was at that table for $1.
Even though it was priced $5, we got it for $1. It's really quite.
No, that was at the part of the table where it was like, this is.
Oh, yeah.
And then this was on the $5 side of the table. Cocktails for 6, sea servers in the box. Little plastic cocktail with glass. These are glass. You switch around. Little plastic there. Brand new in the box. $5. We actually got one other thing, and I left it downstairs from that table for $5 as well, which was a really interesting other dish. But again, $5. 3 hours after it had been up for auction. It was like, why is this still around? Now, there's some things that may be still around because people are like, I don't know what they are. And one of them was this. We went by this one guy, and he had this on the ground in front of his place. And I think this is some of the coolest packaging that I've seen in a long time. I actually could not find it when I looked for it on eBay. I couldn't find it looking for it on Google or anything like that. And it reminds me very much of Whammo toy. So it's 1970s, but this has such a cool sci-fi vibe to him. And this one is still sealed in the box. It is the Zinger Ring on a safe and exciting game of skill and action. Well, why is it safe and exciting? Because what you're supposed to do is you're actually holding the one thing, shoots the rings out, and the other person grabs them on the thing. But the setup of this looks so much like a laser toy or it just reminds me of Star Trek so much. Graphics on it are amazing. And again, it's still sealed. There's a little puncture to the cello over here. But it's kind of a cousin of Jarts. Yes, it is. And this is safe. Well, you not so much poking your eye out on this one unless someone stabbed you with the actual holder thing. But this I think this looks amazing. And he had 2 of them on the ground. And I said, well, how much is that? Thinking it would be, my guess was it was going to be probably in the neighborhood of $40, $50. $10. $10? He goes, yes. And I said, oh. And I picked up the 2 of them. And he goes, I have a box in my storage unit here if you want to buy them all from me. A regret, I did not do that. I said, can you find a better, like the best 2? And so he found the best 2 for me. The other one we have is perfect seal on the thing. And it was just a neat thing. And I thought if I saw that for $9.99 at a Value Village, I would probably buy it. Very, very Jetsonly, yes. Take my money. And I should have actually, when he's lifting them up, there were some that had slightly crushed boxes, some that more cello rip. I probably could have bought like 10 of these for $50 in total. And I wished we had enough room that I should have bought them all. And that normally I do buy quantities. Donna knows this. You buy them all. I normally would do something like that. I was worried about space, and they were so I only carried the 2 back to the car. I should have said to Rick before we left, we still have room on top of everything, so let's
yeah, you could have. You could have, but you didn't.
But I didn't.
You got those plates instead.
I got the 5 plates that instead.
Carmen's a bitch, isn't it?
But I also found some other neat stuff. So did Rick, actually. What's that behind you, Rick? That's one of your favorite finds.
Oh, yes. Yes, this. Oh, this fabulous vase. I'm trying to determine whether this is Viking or not.
Or chalet glass. It's like, I'm not sure enough. I don't know enough about the glass world yet. And I know people say that chalet glass is much different. Huh?
It has 3 fingers or foils. It has a very well polished base. It doesn't have the foot like some of the Viking glass does. And this actually had a couple of acrylic cattails in it. I couldn't find them. But yeah, it could be Viking. It's a great color. There are no scratches. Everything is really smooth and well pulled or swung. And didn't we get it for like $12?
15.
15. Okay. I thought we bought 2 things from her.
I don't remember what else. But again, this lady was an older. We did buy a couple other things. I can't remember what the other things were. But she had some stuff that was very, very cheap. And again, she'd set up there, had 5 tables worth of stuff, and you almost bought. That's where you were looking at the giant brass.
Oh yeah,
oriental guy riding a horse.
The Japanese fisherman.
Yes,
on the back of a horse.
Yeah, I like this, and he didn't take a picture of it either.
No.
So, actually, and yes, comment that I will actually go and look the next trip we go to see if he still got them, because they were inside his booth. So I'm going to check the next time we go for sure. But yeah, this is in Buffalo, New York, up just near the Buffalo airport. Not a Canadian. We've never found a really good Canadian one in years and years and years. All that we found around here are more of the antique shows. But this is a regular monthly flea market. There's also one close to Rochester, New York, in the town of Avon, and sometimes we actually hit them both. We hit Clarence first at like 7 in the morning, try and finish by Clarence by 8:30, and then drive 45 minutes to Avon and hit Avon, so we get there for 9:30 and hit that for the rest of the morning. So those are our exhausting mornings. I really need to make sure Rick has coffee for those.
And then we got these. They are Royal Copley. There are no chips or cracks. They are marked on the back, Royal Copley. We got the pair of them for $5 each, so $10 for the pair.
And again, this was not negotiating with any of these people. This is just how much are those?
I just pulled these out of the house yesterday.
Hold up the vase. Bob's here.
Oh, okay. Here we go, Bob. Is this possibly Viking or L.E. Smith?
The vase is Viking, Lisa says. Donna loves buying Royal Copley. The vase is Viking. Let's see what Bob has to say.
Yeah, let's see what Bob has to say. The Epic series? Okay. I'm going to write that down.
What I also wanted to do is give a nice another shout out, but this is more so a guest thing. And this is one of the things where you talk about, does Craig buy everything? Well, yes, he can at times. And this was a garage sale that we went to. that had this full table of Lemax background pieces. Now, what I mean by that is they are not the actual houses. Lemax is known very much so for their houses. They make the Christmas houses. You've probably seen those at tons and tons of garage sales and estate sales and things like that. And they sell them still. Lemax actually makes stuff that sells still to this day for Christmas. And a huge thing for them is their Spooky Town, which is Halloween versions of these. Well, these are old Lemax. It's been around for a long time. And this is actually the background pieces. So I'll go back to another picture of that. This is actually things like, this is the Village Mountain with just a mountain backdrop. So all it is, you'll put your houses in front of these things. And this is a just feeding deer. So you can see this entire, it's hard to see on this, but these entire things are like, they sell all of the pieces. I'm trying to get over the side here. So everything here, this is just the mill stream, this polyresin mill stream alone. This was other stuff that was from there, which was like, this is wooden docks. So it's just the set of these 3 docks. Now you can make a lot more, and there's actually, they expect you to do this entire thing if you really want. Well, what ended up happening was they had all of these pieces for this dock, and they had this, the dock house, whatever it's called.
Interesting. It's a bilingual package too.
It is a bilingual package.
And English.
A couple of things to look at when you look at things like this on Lemax. So just to give you an idea, this is, if you look up Lemax, always try and look up the date because dates are good. So this is one thing which I could see. All of these were dated 2001 and 2002, which means they're old. They're all backgrounds, and we sold some backgrounds for 20, 30, 40 bucks. Well, take a look at this. This is just a couple of the things that I'm going to show you here. This is actually the wooden docks. This is sold on the wooden docks for one set of wooden docks sold for $44.99. One set of the mill stream sold for $25. That's just a piece of the mill stream, or another one for $29.99. So all of these pieces are in here. This is all the mill stream stuff. And I think if I go back one, I might be able to show you other docks. It's not going to take me back to the other docks. But we got this entire box load. I walked up to him and said, how much is this? And another one of the, you do not ask a question when someone says this. How much for the table? Oh, $1 each.
I have to get my husband out of the car so I can get approval.
I said I have to get my husband out of the car because they're the big backdrops of this big. But it was like $1, and he's like, "Yeah, $1." I kind of want a little more for the house, but if you're gonna get them all, there's 12 pieces, so we paid $12 for everything. Yes, this is the start the car, and yeah, we did. We had to we packaged all this stuff in, but as you can see, we got a bunch of interesting things here that are everything from these are 3 different sets of docks. We now have the bigger dock, which is underneath here. We have the smaller dock, sets of 2. We have polystream. We've got feeding deer set. I did not even look inside them. These are ones that these larger backdrops. Not sure whether we're going to be able to sell them. We'll probably end up selling them locally because they're so big now, and there's that extra cost for things that are over 22 inches long, and they are over 22 inches long. They only go for about 25 bucks, surprisingly, but these little things, I think I can flip this entire lot into maybe $200 or $300 or more for $11. Again, look for Lemax, and if you do look for Lemax, try and always look for, in the houses, anything Halloween related. So that's known as Spooky Town. We've thought about that. But less than spooky is when you can find some stuff that you go, I just got to grab this. Now, 2 things you know that I like getting. One was actually, I don't mind risking big money or a ton of money. I don't know whether everybody would do this kind of thing, but I decided I was going to do this. I got 2 things left to show you. Do you have anything else you want to show, Rick?
Probably a couple of tiny things.
Okay, go for it.
We got this reproduction yo-yo set. We paid $2. They list on eBay for between 15 to 20 bucks. So it's small. It will ship first class, so it could be an okay return on investment. I picked up a bunch of Christmas stuff from a free box. These are adorable. They are a set of 3 Christmas stockings, and the little elf faces are 3-dimensional.
They were free.
They were free. I actually told the lady, I grabbed these from the free box, but I feel really guilty not giving something. So how about 50 cents? And she was very pleased.
Well, speaking of free, here's a couple of things that we also found for free that we picked up at garage sales in front of a garage sale. This, I don't even know what the hell this is, but I'm going to throw it into a Max Sold after I test it. This is the Smart Robot.
Suck Sweep.
Also known as the Ultra Thin Suck Sweep. I have no idea whether this works or what the heck it is, but I was not going to walk by a free Smart Robot vacuum. I have no idea. I'll tell you one thing Rick did not want me to get, which was this gigantic Monroe.
No, you made me get out of the car.
Lamp. This was, I made him get out of the car because it was on his side of the car. This is a plastic Monroe spark plugs. It's a company, a big US company, a big car part company. I cannot find this promotional thing anywhere. It's all, the top is styrofoam and the bottom is, this is all fake. It's like plastic, light plastic. But again, this is so cool looking. I haven't tried it, but this was at someone's garage sale. They closed down and put it out front and said, take this. So again, you can find stuff for free. And I had to look up this because I was sure what Monroe was. Rick didn't know what it was. I was sure I knew what the images were. And yeah, Monroe shock absorber. So it's a huge company. This is, you can see, this is the iconic look for it. I'm not sure. You think this was a home project? Or you think that was a home project? I don't think that was a home project. I think that's it's too perfect to be a home project. It actually is a real light. It's built that way. And I've actually seen lights built like this for other tire companies and things like that. So, but again, this was a freebie. And Rick didn't want me to pick it up. I might try and sell this. We might find a box for it and try and list it and see, because Monroe Sparks does have a lot of stuff, and there could be a lot of interest by somebody in the States, especially for a man cave. This would be really cool in a man cave. But there's something else that would be also cool in a man cave. I got 2 things left to show you. One was that I always look for doll cases. We saw this one ad that said that it was a place that would have vintage Barbie and all this stuff. And we drove to it like first. It was like the first garage sale we went to. Said it started at 9. So we got there at like 8:30 on the Friday. And I see one lady and she's holding a Susie Goose Barbie wardrobe, a little plastic wardrobe. And I don't see any other vintage Barbie stuff anywhere. So I'm assuming that it's all gone. Well, it had all gone, except the interesting thing was on one of the tables, I found it's not in great shape. I'm telling you this now, but I found this, a Blythe fashion wardrobe case for $3. So those of you who know dolls, you can see this bottom corner is in really bad shape. But for those of you who know dolls, Blythe is one of the hardest to find dolls. And interestingly enough, I found crushed versions of this Blythe case selling for $65, $300 with an actual doll. And then there's one other that is in here for right now that's flattened. That flattened one is on live, and it's listed for auction at $90 already. So I know that this ain't pretty. I'm going to try and clean it up a little bit. I'm going to put it on auction for like $50 and see if I can get $50 for it, even though it's obviously had a lot of challenges
chews.
Huh?
Rat
They're
chews.
not. We're not going to talk about them being rat chews. Another one we ended up finding this, which I picked up only for the case. This was, where was this? This wasn't at clearance, Rick. This was at a garage sale.
Yeah, it was a garage sale. It was on the under the table.
And it was $5. And if I bought it for the case because it's a very interesting doll case, so generic doll case. Everything inside it is also very generic. Not the greatest, some homemade stuff, but I got to do a little bit of looking up on them because I'm not sure who this doll is. I don't think it's Dollikins. Oops. Sorry, I just covered over my screen with something. I don't think it's Dollikins because I'm not sure about these legs. It's a very interesting doll that I am not used to. I don't recognize this at all, so I'm going to have to do a little research. There's two of them in here. And so again, that was a $5 thing. Monroe is mid-80s parts store. Hey, Treasure Ghost. Did you just put it there? Mid-80s auto parts store display. Thank you. I see. I knew it was not. I knew it was real. I was positive it was real. So that was a bunch of the stuff that we ended up getting. Interesting stuff. Here's the one that I want to ask you, and I don't know whether you would do this or not. This is sometimes you decide you're going to make that extra big purchase, and you're going to go out on a limb for something you don't know anything, or you know a little bit about, but not necessarily a lot about. Well, this was one of them. It was at the clearance flea market. It actually happened to be, again, close to the 10 o'clock mark, so these had been there for 2.5 hours. And this was this stack. This stack of comic books. Well, sorry, not that stack of comic books. And these. And these. And these. And these. Over 150 comics, all in one batch. Now, some of them I look at, and when I don't know tons about comics, I know certain comics. Few of the things that I look for when I'm looking for comics, I look for older prices. So nowadays, comics cost $2.99, $3.95, $4.95, $5.95. So I look for prices that are in the lower marks. This is a 50-cent thing called Strange Flying Saucers. 15-cent Action Comics. 12-cent Nucla. I hope I can hold on to it. Oh, that's kind of rude looking, isn't it? I hope I can hold on to it. 30-cent Superman. Now, again, some of them are in great shape. This is kind of torn up. Some of them are newer. This Justice League, 75 cents. Superboy, 50 cents. So there's a batch in here. I counted. I got to roughly a lot of DC. Not very many Marvel. Tons and tons of DC. And some other interesting ones too. Star Trek. Let's see if I can flip through. Spider-Man. Strange Adventures, which I've never seen before. There's a great Batman one. Blue Beetle. A new one. An older Hawkman. So a few newers. But even that's a 50-cent She-Hulk. I decided I couldn't resist this. I asked the guy how much for the lot. Again, 150 plus in the lot. He said $300. And I said to Rick, that's $2 a piece, which is kind of risky. So I looked at him, I said, how about 200 for the batch? And he said, no picking. And I said, no. And he goes, okay, everybody this morning has been picking out 3, 4, 5 and wanting to buy them. And I said, no, you have to buy the whole lot. So if you're going to take the whole lot, it's $1,030, $200. So I paid $200, a big risk, $200 for 150 comics. Now, it's $1.40, $1.25 a piece. But I did a couple looking up just to get an idea on them. And I did find that that saucer one I showed you sells for about $30. A couple of the Strange Adventure ones can sell for $10 a piece. A couple of the action figure ones are $3, some $10, some $25. There might be some in there that are a good $30, $40, $50 comic for all I know. But they go really, really well for us in Max Sold. So That's the reason I bought them, so I can put a bunch of them together in Max Sold either individually or not. But it's a $200 risk that I decided I had to take. Why? Well, at that point, we already had the $12 Lemax buy. We had the Blythe case. We had the slot cars. We already had the chalet glass that Rick has behind him and the other glass. And yeah, actually, that's very true. She-Hulk is about to increase because even though the series looks like it sucks, it looks so bad. It really looks bad. It's probably going to have some more interest in it. I ended up saying, you know what? I can take $200 and take a big risk on all these comic books. So hopefully I'm going to make my money back on the comic books. I don't think anything's going to go wrong. And the whole weekend, we probably spent close to about $750 in total. So it's a big investment to do something like that. Plus the hotel room. We don't consider the hotel room as part of our buys. We use those as expenses on our actual business. So we're only looking at the cost of the items when we're doing that. The other stuff goes into expenses the same way that gas does and packing materials and all those other things do. So we had a great time. Now we have to actually, as Nellie said, better get listing. Now that's the next thing is we got to organize everything. Why? Because we might go across again this weekend. Look at it. Maybe. There's a big sale on Greg told me about yesterday, hon.
Oh, really?
I think I might have to do a little twisting of an arm, but for $100 on this car, I like the idea of going back across for big garage sales and things like that. So,
Aberfoyle is on this weekend.
Well, then we could stay if you want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to Aberfoyle. Would you like to get up?
Or we could just stay up all night.
Oh, yeah. But we could also do that and just drive to Buffalo like at 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
But
See, I'm not getting good reactions to any of these,
no.
so...
No.
As long as I give you said, if I give you a coffee, that's all. Don't look away from me. Look at me. How dare you?
I'm looking to see if there's anything else I might need to show.
Oh, I found these little guys. Little knee huggers. They were 50 cents a piece. Vintage made in Japan little knee huggers. They're a lot smaller than normal. There's probably other stuff we found that we just didn't get around to sell. There's stuff that's in the car. Or look at Rick's balls. Because
I have to show a ball in every show, right?
Oh, do you?
Yes. It's
Toronto will be at Aberfoyle. Aberfoyle is a local market. It's about an hour from Toronto. It's a regular flea market that's on Sundays, and twice a year, 2 Saturdays a year, they do a full they open the market up and they have a bunch more vendors in for the Saturdays. So our last one there was pre-COVID, so it'll be interesting. On the Monroe Light, what? Aren't you glad you got out of the car now, Rick?
Yeah, you can figure out how to pack.
I'll pack the damn thing if I can. Treasure Coast, you got to send me a link if you can to where you found that, just so I could trace it a little bit some other way. You can message me, or I'll go onto your website or onto your YouTube channel. But where did you research that? Because I couldn't find it when I was trying to do research for the show. Anyway, that's a great thing. And Greg says he's got a great Italian restaurant in Lewiston. And we can meet him and Kathy for dinner. And maybe that nun will come along too.
Your sister Lucy.
Helium voice. Yeah, that's woo. So. And Doug's even barking at that one. So anyway, hope you enjoyed being here with us today for our little blast of a weekend haul. Now you have to do this. Now you have to look up at me. We had a lot of fun. Next week, Carl is joining us for a Listing the Unlistables show. And that's a show where we're going to talk about stuff that we procrastinated on listing for whatever reason. It could be something we've had for a week. Could be something we've had for a year. Could be something we've had for 5 years. Could be something that we just don't know about the size, or just so happy we bought it, we just decided not to list it. I've got a couple of things that we even just picked up at Brimfield that are still procrastinating that I want to get up there. So we're going to work a little bit on that. Some we'll do live in the show. Other ones we'll just talk about why we were procrastinated on them, why, and then build the listings. Because, like, for example, I got to get this Whimsy doll up that we bought at Brimfield. And I want it up, and I haven't put it up yet. She's been sitting here in my office this whole time, but we keep going away. And I know if we go away again for the weekend, it'll be another hard thing for me to get. But I promise I will, and I promise I'll get listing stuff. I promise I'll get listing stuff. Thanks again to everybody here, especially those of you who are in the Kennel Club, who support us on a monthly basis. And we'll see you in our Kennel Club Facebook group for more of our challenges and listing challenges this month. It's all about trying to list stuff. That's the whole thing this month. We're trying to get listings up there, because when you list, you actually can possibly sell. And in fact, strangely enough, we put ourselves on time away this weekend, and we sold a $200 Furby, a $100 Barbie, a $100 skull mug, set of skull mugs, tequila skull mugs that we bought for $3.99 at Value Village. And we sold them to somebody in Toronto, in our own city, and they paid $100 US. Plus, so you never can tell. And remember, again, Limax, take a look at it, and slot cars, take a look at those. Do a little research, see if you find something like that. And we hope to see you again real soon here on Two Dogs Things. I'll pass. I say good night. Subterranean Good Doug says good night.
Goodbye.
Doug says good night too. Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great week. Good luck thrifting, and good luck listing, and good luck selling.
Keep the F for fun and thrift.
Keep the F for fun and thrifting too. Yes.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.